Thank you very much, Penny. It's a great pleasure to be with you and with Dr. Janice Krause. Used to be Janice Shaw. We went to school together in college, my wife and I, and she and her date double dated. Great memories from that. But it's a pleasure to be with you. And thank you for what all you are doing. The Concerned Women for America, I think, are the best voice and the most reliable voice for American women in the United States. Not what the other side claims, as we all know. But just to springboard off of what I heard when I came in, when Tom Price was talking about the Declaration of Independence, our founding document, that we're endowed with the Creator, with certain unalienable rights. And these rights are given to us by God. We're endowed by the Creator, not by government or the Supreme Court. And the purpose of government is given in that declaration. Read a little further. To secure these rights, governments are instituted among men. And when any government becomes destructive to these ends, it is the right of the people to alter and abolish. And that's what the pro-life movement is all about. Altering a destructive Supreme Court decision. We all know the Supreme Court decisions are not sacrosanct. Look at Dred Scott. They've reversed themselves over 100 times in our history. And keep your eye on the prize this election, this year. It's not just what we do here in Washington. It's this presidential race. And the nominee who will appoint strict constructionist, pro-life nominees who will overturn this destructive opinion, the Roe v. Wade and Doe v. Bolton opinion. That's what's at stake here. And so before it's over with, President Obama will turn himself into a pro-life candidate. He is so good at his spin. He's blaming us now for the Keystone Pipeline. I'm thinking, like, you know, you had the audacity to set a deadline after 40 months to make a decision, so I have to disapprove it. He'll, you know, with his spin, you've got to be careful. He will deceive the American people. The most pro-abortion, anti-family candidate and president in our nation's history. And of course we know President Obama can't be reelected if he runs on his record. He'll create other issues. Briefly, a status report. We got 87, and then with two specials, 89 freshmen, pro-life freshmen, the most of any change since the Second World War, and they are so inspirational. They're passionately, you know, conservative and trying to make a difference. It's so refreshing. The first thing we did was to move out of the Health Subcommittee and onto the floor and pass the Pro-Life Act and H.R. 3 and H.R. 358. One was specifically aimed at Obamacare, overturning taxpayer-funded abortions in Obamacare. The other one applies to all programs. We must establish in statute the ban on taxpayer-funded abortions. His executive order won't cut it. Executive orders are easily overturned by an administration or by a court. And so we must get that in statute. The second priority is a conscience provision in statute to protect the rights of conscience for medical types involved in the health industry, but everyone, so that they can't be compelled, like the president is trying to do with the interim final rule on prevention services, to force entities to provide coverage for abortifacients, ELA, Plan B, or sterilization services. We must establish that in statute, and we have a couple of bills on that regard. Some we've acted, a couple still to be acted on. Another thing I think we should do is establish, again, more firmly in statute, the defense of marriage. The constitutional amendment defining marriage between a man and a woman, and in the defense industry to protect our chaplains so they have the right to practice their faith as a matter of conscience regarding marriage. So these are guerrilla efforts many times on the life issue. The war will be won, again, with the Supreme Court overturning the destructive opinions. So keep your eye on that. America's worth fighting for. You know, we're broken, but we can make this place a better place if we get a chance. We cannot, with divided government, accomplish everything we want. Here, if you heard about Stupak Pitts, the amendment that we offered last session when they moved health care through energy and commerce, and we actually won a couple and lost a couple. So we went to the Rules Committee, and there were 2 amendments permitted on the floor. One was the Republican alternative, the other was Stupak Pitts. And we won with 242 votes. We got 64 votes from the other side. It was the only amendment that was passed in a bipartisan manner to the proposed health care. It was called Closing Care at that time. We tried it again under Obamacare. You saw what happened with the reversal on the floor with the pledge of the executive order. But we still must act to make sure that taxpayer funds are not used to pay for abortion. And so that's something that's hanging out there. But again, thank you for all you're doing on behalf of family and life, for your leadership. It's really a pleasure to work with you. And, you know, don't be discouraged. It is not the most powerful or the smartest that wins in politics always. It is the most persistent. And if we will be there and be persistent with God's favor and blessing, we will win this battle. Thank you very much.